Well, yeah, I mean, it's quite striking that India, which is in principle a close partner of the U.S., was saddled with some of the highest tariffs of any country. India's neighbors, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and a few neighbors further afield in Southeast Asia had significantly lower tariffs. And I think that's significant for India's economic interests in the sense that, those countries, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Vietnam, for that matter, these are all countries that are competitors with India when it comes to textile exports. And so this suggests that India could be disadvantaged if it doesn't adjust. I mean, I'm sure that India has already thought through workarounds. And, for example, I think it will be important for New Delhi to step up efforts to conclude new trade deals with other key export destinations, such as the EU. And we know that there's been talks between India and the EU for quite some months. They're hoping to get a deal by the end of the year. And if so, or if things move closer to a deal in the next few months, that would suggest that India would be able to capture some market access elsewhere to allow it to reduce the potential damage that the Trump tariffs could pose for India. But absolutely, I think the economic implications are nothing to sneeze at. And what I mean by that is that they are significant just because, as we know, it's a very simple but important fact that for quite a few years, the U.S. has been a top destination for Indian exports. Yeah, I think there's a very strong link potentially between this upcoming meeting between Trump and Putin and India's U.S. tariff situation. And I think this is really what appears to be the last-ditch effort made by President Trump to get Putin to agree to stop fighting, or at least to agree to a ceasefire. One of the reasons why I think Trump imposed this additional 25% tariff on India was to try to pressure Russia, trying to pressure Russia to stop fighting by trying to get Russia's most important commercial partners like India to stop importing goods from Russia. And so if there is an agreement that comes out of this meeting, if Putin does agree to a ceasefire or something close to it, I suspect that would take the heat off of India in the sense that President Trump would not want to pressure India as much, and perhaps even potentially, if things hold, we could see this latter 25% tariff, the one that was imposed on India because of its oil imports from Russia, being reduced or even melting away. It's very hard to predict how President Trump will act. He's very unconventional, but he clearly has injected geopolitical objectives into his economic policies, including his tariff decisions. So that's why I think that we do need to watch very carefully how these talks go between Trump and Putin. And if there is an outcome that leads to a ceasefire, I think that would benefit India across the board, not just in terms of its economic interests, but I think it's very clear that India has been calling for the war to wind down for quite some time. It has so many reasons for the war not to continue, and so in that sense, I think it would be a big benefit for India as well. I mean, we've seen. And this is not new, this has happened several times over the course of the war, Prime Minister Modi engaging with senior officials in both Russia and Ukraine. And one could assume that he delivered that message that he's been delivering for quite some time, and this is not an era of war. That could all help India. It could certainly help Trump's interests as well, but most importantly, it would help India's interests because clearly India wants this war to end sooner rather than later.